Newkirk Precinct.
From the Newkirk Precinct, in the bottom left corner of the map, we have the blue Protoss player hailing from Root Gaming, one of the best North American teams. It is Sage.
Thanks for catching my camera work.
Very nice. That's called like a swivel movement, I think, in camera terminology. In the bottom right corner, we have from Team Evil Geniuses, another top team in North America. It is the runner-up of Season 1, Revival. Wow.
I wasn't expecting you to say the runner-up.
Fail.
All right, guys, look at this. Boom.
Not the smoothest.
Production tab. Got that going. You know, it's just like the cleanness of this overlay is beautiful. So I like to keep it clean.
Cleanliness.
Cleanliness. I like to keep it clean, and then I forget the production tab because I suck at life.
That's all right, Andre. We all
Not
make
sucking at
mistakes.
life today, Frodan. Or at least this game.
Well, Andre, well, we do see that Sage is going for a gateway expand once again, but this time he's walling off. The old classic wall off. And Revival is going hatch first. So it's going to be somewhat similar, but at the same time not so similar, because I don't know why you're going to put the gateway so far up unless you wanted to chrono boost out and maybe pressure a little bit.
It's because of the map. This ramp requires one more building to wall off relative to a map like Belshire Vestige. So because of that, you don't really want to...
Okay.
You want to have some sort of defense against like early pressure in case it ever comes. Normally, if early pressure comes for like Zerglings, you have 3 buildings to just plop down, normally gateways.
I never thought of it that way. That's really interesting. I always... see, like with me, I always... If I put a gateway forward, it's because I want to pressure. And I do like pressuring in PvZ off gateway expands. And if I scout this as a Zerg player, because I haven't played Zerg recently, I always make more than just 4 Zerglings because I feel like they're going to pressure me in that regards. But I could be wrong. And I feel like you're mostly right, Andre, in this regard.
Do you know how many I make, Ferdinand? It's just my
2?
style. 0.
And you make like 6 queens?
I make 4 queens.
Okay.
4 queens, and then wait for metabolic boost.
Ah, okay. Do you have a spine at all?
No, I do not.
Okay.
Spines are for...
Maybe I should try that. 4 queens, no spine, and triple hatchery. See if you can defend it. That's what's Revival.
You have to make sure you get your metabolic boost, though. It's similar to the ZVZ styles.
Okay.
But then you take them all off gas.
All right. Well, I'll try that. Maybe later tonight.
Sorry,
when I play.
I'm
No. And it's really interesting to note because Sage is not going to do any Zealot Mothership core pressure, which was for a time a thing. Like Naniwal used to like doing that. Instead, Sage is going to go for a quick Twilight Council. Now, we have seen fast DTs in PvZ somewhat trying to go through a renaissance, but it's been with mixed results because you don't need the Evo Chamber anymore. And it really is up to the Zerg player. Like, and if they smack it down, you just feel so silly as a Protoss player because you can't do anything. You invest so much gas into it, and sure, you can follow up with like a big charge Archon attack, but unless you did something early game with it, I just feel it whiffs a little bit much.
Ferdinand, I love that you mentioned that because there's even pro gamers that are like, oh yeah, it costs so little these days, it's still okay to get Dark Templars and it having failed. No, no, it is not okay.
You still can follow it with like a Zealot Archon attack if you really want to, but I like doing that after like a 4-gate pressure or something like that. You know, like something where you already inflicted damage, but when Zerg gets so much time to set up, unless these DTs do damage, I really feel like it's really hard to come back from.
Yeah, the way I look at it is because Dark Templars are so expensive, and even again the Dark Shrine is so expensive, they just parry it with Spore Crawlers. They're not actually investing any gas. And a lot of 2-base attacks rely on your gas timings, right? It relies on how fast you get your blink out, how many Stalkers that you have, how many Phoenixes you have, how many Void Rays, etc. So it's the opportunity cost that's also affecting you. All of a sudden you can pressure off of 2-base, and you're getting behind in macro just because Zergs don't have to worry about any Dark Templars. So, Frodan.
That's a good point. Oh, and Revival sniffs it out. 3 spores going up. How did he know? Oh my goodness, how did he know? Something gave him away. I'm looking at his vision. 2 gases. He sees nothing at the natural. He sees only gateways. Something had to tip him off.
He's defending ranges. That's all. That's what I
really,
think.
but even then, wouldn't you get like just that in a position where you would defend against like the Phoenixes and whatnot?
Well, it defends against both, right?
I guess so. You're right.
Spore and that's
just to be extra safe.
correct. Yeah.
And now now his extra safety precaution has rewarded him with, well, he shouldn't really lose much unless Sage gets careless or Revival gets careless and lets things die in his main. But 4 roaches per hatchery. Revival. This is kind of why I feel like his EVP is done really leveled up essentially, because he's done really well to read opening build orders like this.
And we have taking a queen. Nice. That's definitely what he needs.
Still, this is.
It's still terrible.
He still needs to do more.
This isn't good. I love hiding though, like how much that Sage hid. And this is coming super fast, but you know, Revival wasn't playing super greedy in the mid game stage. He was in the beginning game, getting 3 hatched before the first queen. But this time around, ooh, wow, that is so cool. Using Time Warp to stop those roaches from really connecting against those Dark Templars, taking out the queen and hemorrhaging the larva income of Revival. Really cool stuff coming out from Sage. Cute little tactics.
Yeah, and in the end, you do manage to take out more resources, but still, it's a Dark Templar investment, and now Sage will have to kind of punt and go for double Stargate while third base is what it looks like. Third base on Newkirk Precinct is relatively easy to defend, but it does end up going to this point where, well, when Pros is on 3 bases, what stops him from getting 4 bases? And when we get 4 bases, well, why not just take the entire side of the map? And it's Newkirk, you only can attack in one direction, so GLHF. But then Zerg's like, well, I can play that game, and I'll spread creep and make 50 Spore Crawlers and 20 Swarm Hosts.
And then you have awesome games.
And then you have epic games, which last for 1 hour and 40 minutes. Some of them are epic, though.
Some of them are.
Fair.
The Stefano Lucifron.
The Bomber Ghost User was really epic.
Bomber Ghost User.
I liked it as well.
Definitely so.
Now Sage will start going for Void Rays, and it's a very powerful way to play. Can you explain a little bit about the style launcher that we're seeing right now from Sage?
It's very micro-intensive. A lot of tactics, obviously coming in with the Dark Templars, now over with the Oracles. What he's trying to do is, he's not actually looking to play any sort of engagement directly after this. He's just going into macro mode, right? And this is where it's like, oh, I want to be doing something while I'm macroing and getting all my bases up. So what do? I'm going to incorporate these little units to potentially gain some sort of advantage, or at least get back into the game. Remember, he is behind by going Dark Templars. So when he does this, he incurs a little bit of loss. He's able to stay ahead or stay even in economy, and from there he could just play a regular end-game scenario. And he's doing that.
It's so interesting because when Protoss used to be able to get 3 base like this, people would say it's almost impossible for Zerg to break until they get to the Infestor Broodlord. That was a long time ago in Wings of Liberty. Now that we're in Heart of the Swarm, it feels like if you let Zerg run too much, they're just going to kill you with the trades into the Mutaswitch. If they don't do that, it's that into the Turtle of the Swarm Host with some Broodlord support. It just becomes this point where now Protosses feel like even if they have 3 bases, it still doesn't guarantee that they'll have a sustainable mid to late game. And I like that Revival's also expanding aggressively, 12-30, and we're now taking a 5th base.
You like that direction?
I do as well. It's closer and it's more accessible via creep as opposed to all the way to the north. What do you think, Andre? You don't like it? Too close to Protoss?
I love it, Frodo. I'm glad. We've been agreeing a lot on things, Frodo.
Maybe because we spend so much time together. Oh, Revival gets caught out in the middle of the map, or caught with quotation marks, as he is happy to receive what Sage is doing, as the Void Rays and Archons can get melted very easily if Revival can kind of mount an offensive.
Nicely done. Just picking off a couple units while they were.
The rest of the
units
Core.
were.
Mothership Core is going to die, and that's going to be very tough for Sage to... Well, sorry, Mothership Core won't die just yet. The speed hasn't finished for the Hydralisk, but it will eventually get caught out of position. Now, Revival, he has pretty much a maxed army, and it's a very intimidating Roach Hydra force. How is Sage just going to die here?
I think he is. I mean, he's going for that ultimate army composition.
Oh,
it's so hard to defend this right now.
He's got like nothing.
So many Hydras being able to target down the Void Rays, and they will go down, Frodo. And the Photon Cannon is being taken out on the side. No more units left. GG.
Revival takes the series 2-0.